Unlimited Lights Heat 2B is presented for Seafair by Graham Trucking. CDL Class A drivers wanted at grahamtrucking.com.
And Heat 2B has the fastest boats of the Unlimited Lights. Here you go. Graham Trucking GT, Mako of Bremerton, Computerware's Critical Logic, Millennium Digital Media, IRS Enviro, Miss Boat Electric, and the Atomic Screen Printing. And again, the first and second place boats in both the earlier heats are racing in this one. Mike and Chip, take it away on those drivers.
And of course, we've got several of the blower boats in this one, including the Graham Trucking with Greg Hopp. Greg robbed himself of a victory last heat by an infraction.
Al Carstensen finished fourth in his first heat. He's got to finish fourth or better to stay alive for the final.
Good race last time out by Paul Becker. He wants to repeat that again in the CompuWare presents the Critical Logic boat.
Ryan Malau, he won his first heat. He can win it again.
Rob Bork did not have a good outing first time out for the Unlimited Lights. He wants to make amends now in that 62 boat.
Kaylee Perkins finished second in her first heat. She needs to keep just doing that, and she's going to find herself in the final.
And the other Zadaro, Charles, didn't get a chance to race last time, couldn't make a start. He's going to make one this time. He's out there.
Again, another heat with 7 boats, 30 seconds as they score up on the backstretch. And this looks pretty, all these boats coming down, Michael.
And you can see that they're already positioned as far as lanes are concerned. That's been decided about 45 seconds ago as they come into the corner. The question is, who gets to the first turn first? You're looking at Greg Hopp as he comes around the corner in that Graham Trucking GT. He must start outside. He must stay outside for 1 lap, and he can close in only when he has a rooster tail lead if he can manage the boat speed. But he does have the speed. And coming to the line, another perfect start, it looks like. We're going to see maybe, a perfect start.
Kaylee Perkins, I believe.
Kaylee Perkins with a perfect start in that bright red boat. The question is, does she have the horsepower to hold everybody off going into the corner? Here we go into the turn, and there are a few rollers out there. Greg Hopp on the outside has really got ahead of steam.
Now this is where Kaylee's got to learn that, you know, if she finishes second, third, or fourth, she's just fine. So I don't want her to risk everything in this heat, but it looks like she's got the boat speed to stay with these guys.
The one who's leading is the Critical Logic right now, coming down the back chute. That's the CompuWare Critical Logic. Paul Becker is leading. Kaylee is right inside there in that bright red boat, right on the outside of his rooster tail, trying to stay in there. Here she is. She whips that boat into the north turn for the first time around 3. So we got a lot of traffic into the corner, and she's got a boat inside of her that's going to cause her some problems as well. So off the turn with a whole lot of speed, the GT boat, that's the Graham Trucking boat with Greg Hopp, is caught up to Kaylee, and he will lead her across the line in second place. And now he's making a bid on Mr. Baker as well.
That boat Paul Becker's driving is from Mexico. It left here, went to Mexico, and never got raced. He went to Mexico, brought it back. Looks like he made a good purchase.
You're looking at what Kaylee sees outside her windscreen right now as she is that third boat inside there. She got a little loose. She got to the left and to the right a little bit, and she's having a little problem holding lane at this point. Up the back chute, however, we got a dandy boat race between 2 of the supercharged boats. This one, and that's Paul Becker. He is driving a brand new boat, as Chip mentioned, and on the outside of him, that's the rooster tail you see almost in the center of your screen converging right now. That would be Greg Hopp. Okay, we're in the second time around now in the north turn, and Hopp and Becker are nailed down now, deck on deck, as they come down to the start-finish line, and Kaylee Perkins is trying to stay in this one as much as possible. Across the line, it is Greg Hopp on the outside. The leader, Paul Becker, on the inside is keeping the hammer down, but it looks like Greg Hopp has him handled going into this corner.
When you can win when you're from behind and that far outside, that means you've got brute horsepower. That boat is running really, really well.
But as they come out of the turn, Paul Becker makes another bid at it, knowing full well that he might have a little turning ability that the boat on the wider side does not have. It doesn't look like the horsepower is going to be enough to give Paul Becker the victory. And at this point now, you see we have almost a rooster tail lead now for Mr. Hopp as he goes into the corner for the last time up on the north end. And on this race course, it looks like he's going to dominate this heat.
It's very frustrating when you can get a better start on a guy and he just drives around you on the outside. As a driver, you feel like you've done everything you can do, but hey, there's nothing.
Look at Kaylee now. She comes around the corner, going to try to pick off Paul Becker at the line if she can. She had a good turn with a lot of speed, and she was able to overcome him because something happened to Becker at the last moment there.
And let's hope that it wasn't her water. You know, let's hope she gave him enough room.
He's got some damage. He's got a canard that's sticking up there that may possibly have been from her prop wash.
We certainly didn't see it, but it looks suspect that she was in there on his outside and really tight, and maybe she might have got him, or Paul Becker could have slid out into his rooster tail. We just don't know at this point.
She made one move on him and made an attempt to try to overcome. He had a real good momentum through that corner, but she appears to be having in this race just a few control problems. Chip, she was kind of inside outside a little bit for a bit there.
I think Becker had already slowed down before she was next to him.
You know, I think this is a real good learning experience for her. Really, there was no need for her to be near anybody. I would hope her radio person would say, look, you've already got a second. Take this third or fourth and just don't get in trouble.
From all appearances, it was just a matter of Becker getting out of attitude and hooking. I don't see any prop wash. There it is right there. Let's see, coming a little bit to the right. Ooh, and he even whacks a buoy, and that's where the canard got broken.
Wow. You don't see Paul Becker make that kind of a mistake very often. But remember, we talked about earlier, when you run real close to the buoys, you're leaving yourself no room for error. If that boat takes a nasty hop, this is the result.
Well, Greg Hopp had to go through a penalty the first time out. A little bit better result this time, Greg.
Yeah, well, this time, both times it was a, first place physically on the race course. Last time was a driving infraction, and this time, fortunately, especially for Rob Graham at Graham Trucking, he sponsors all these races, sponsors the series, sponsors my boat, sponsors another boat, and I just feel glad for Rob that we're able to get the win, and hopefully that gives us enough points to make the final without having to run that B main.
All right, Greg, thanks a lot.
All right, thanks.